These people have treated me better in 3 weeks than the entire village my whole life. Yo, what is up guys, it was IzuKage here with the movie for What If Naruto Was in the Akatsuki. Yeah, this movie ended up being a lot shorter than I thought, but I didn't go over a bunch of stuff, so I mean, that makes sense. Also in this What If, I did something I've never done in a What If before, so definitely stick around for that. And yeah, Discord link in the description. I'm gonna be doing a giveaway on Christmas, so if you guys want to join that, definitely join the Discord. And if you guys are looking for some fire anime merch for this Christmas holiday, definitely check out the link in the description. And yeah, with that said, I hope you guys will go on to enjoy the What If. So we're gonna start this What If off at the end of the academy after the graduation exams, because everything up to this point has been more or less the same. So Iruka, he's going through the grades from the day before, like all the exams they did, the written and physical portion, and he's saying everyone's grade out loud. So he's saying like Sasuke 98%, that's really impressive, and Sakura 100%, but 69% on the physical portion. Why 69? I don't know. So he's doing that up until he reaches Naruto, and even though Shikamaru's grades were as bad as Naruto's, everyone knows Shikamaru doesn't care about school, so the laughs start getting louder and louder, and Naruto, he's like closing his ears as Iruka says 20%. And I'm not gonna lie, hearing 20%, I'd laugh too. So even Iruka has a slight chuckle. So Naruto, hearing everyone just laughing at him, he explodes and shoots out of his seat, and he says, "Watch me, I'll become stronger than all of you combined." And Naruto runs out of the class, and Iruka followed behind Naruto and said, "Naruto, calm down, they were just joking." But Naruto wasn't listening to any of that, and he rushes into the forest. And Iruka, he just watches him, and he'll be like, he'll come back soon, because Iruka, he doesn't have the time to be chasing Naruto. So, you know, he's thinking that he'll just come back once he calms down. But the next day, Iruka, like when he's assigning the teams, Naruto wasn't there. And he asked some of the kids if they'd seen Naruto, and no one has. So what happened to Naruto? So we go back to the day before, and Naruto, he was running as fast as he could through the forest, and he eventually fell over because, I mean, he's a kid, he can't really go far. But when Naruto, he woke up like a few minutes later, he just passed out for a bit, and 2 people had found him, and they were wearing black robes with red clouds. And one of them spoke, and he said, "What do we do with him, Itachi?" And Itachi said, "Well, there's nothing we can do. We were told the beast needed to be captured in order, and it's just too soon to take him in." And Kisame was like, "Damn it, Samehada was looking forward to tasting some of his chakra." Whatever. And Kisame puts back his sword, and they start walking away, and Naruto, he can't sense chakra, but the bloodlust coming off these two was incredible, and he knew they must have been like really strong. So Naruto ran up behind them and grabbed onto Itachi's leg, and he said, "Please stop, no matter what, I need to become stronger." And Kisame turned around and kicked Naruto to the ground, and he said, "Why should we help some weakling like you?" And hearing the word weak struck a chord with Naruto, and he said, "I'm not weak." And Naruto got up and did a hand sign, and Kisame didn't know what to expect, and he reached back for Samehada. But when Naruto performed the jutsu, it was like a clone jutsu, and the clone couldn't even walk. And Kisame bursted out in laughter and said, "Is that the best you can do?" And he's like, "Yeah, you really had me in the first half." So he's like, "Let's go, Itachi." But Itachi realized how much chakra Naruto had. Like when he was charging up his chakra, it was visible. And for an academy student, that should be nearly impossible because of their low levels of chakra. So Itachi, he's like, "You know what, wait up a second. This kid has some potential. Plus," and Itachi, he got really close. "Plus, we can keep this kid close, so, once we start capturing the other Jinchurikis, we won't have a problem getting him." And Kisame just said, whatever, and started walking off. So Itachi, he turned back to Naruto and told him, they'll train him, sure. And Naruto's eyes lit up with excitement, and this reminded Itachi so much of Sasuke. So they got their move on, and they would arrive at the Akatsuki's hideout, which is not the same cave as like Canon, where they took the One Tails, they took Gaara, but still it's something similar to that. So Pain, when he sees Itachi and Kisame, they come in with Naruto, the literal Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, the one that's supposed to be the hardest to get, just walk in. And Pain said, "Good work, Itachi. Kisame told me about your plans for the kid. Just make sure he doesn't get too strong." And Pain walked back into the darkness. So right away, Naruto would begin his training with Itachi, and they would start with chakra control, since that's the whole reason for Itachi bringing Naruto. Like, what's the use of having all of that chakra when you can't use it? So for 2 weeks, Naruto would spend his time on chakra control, obviously not mastering it, but above Sakura's level of chakra control. And for another week, some of the other members would drop into Naruto's training sessions, giving Naruto some pointers and different things like that. And also, not all the Akatsuki members are currently a part of the Akatsuki. Deidara, Hidan, and Tobi. Well, Tobi, he's doing some behind the scenes stuff, but formally he hasn't joined yet. So after Naruto's first 3 weeks, he's been given the Akatsuki robe because Team Itachi, which is Itachi, Kisame, and now Naruto, are going to be taking a little trip. One of Kisame's friends are in town and he wants to drop in and say hello. So we switch perspectives to Team 7, who has Sai on their team in place of Naruto, since they still need a 4-man team. And this has just been going to canon, them doing a bunch of D rank missions, getting bored of them and asking Hiruzen if they can get a different mission. And this would be the mission to escort the bridge builder Tazuna to the Land of Waves. So Team 7, when they leave the Leaf Village, of course they encounter the Demon Brothers, which is not really much problem with them. Actually, Sai took care of them this time. And when they get further down the path, something feels just a bit off. And Sakura says, "When will we be there yet? Like, it feels like we've been walking in circles." And as they continue walking, Kakashi's realizing, he's seen the same damn tree over and over, the same rock, the same blue flower, and then it hit him. Like, they're in a genjutsu, and they all did hand signs and said release, breaking the genjutsu, but they were all already tied up. And Sasuke looked up and saw 2 men in black robes and like red clouds all over it. And one of them turned around and said, "Oh, Sasuke, what's up? See, it didn't take long for me to catch up to you guys." And Sasuke was thinking, this voice, it sounded sort of familiar. And he squinted his eyes to try to get a good look of what they looked like under the robes. And Naruto's yellow hair stuck out, and Sasuke, he said, "Naruto?" And Naruto smiled and said, "Oh, I'm relieved. I honestly thought you didn't recognize me." He scared me for a second. And Kakashi realized this as well, and it didn't take long for him to break through his restraints because it's literally just rope. But before he attacked, Itachi whispered into Naruto's ears and said, "This is your chance to show me how strong you've become. I'll be waiting." And Naruto smirks and says, "I'll be through with them before Itachi's finished with that swordsman." So with that, Naruto is going to be facing off against the entire Team 7. And Kakashi, he told his team to stay back, while he's dealing with Naruto. So he walks up to him, and before attacking, Kakashi asks Naruto, "Why? Why are you doing this? Why are you siding with the enemy?" And Naruto tilted his head and said, "Enemy? These people have treated me better in 3 weeks than the entire village my whole life. They're my true family. They're what makes me strong. And Naruto's whiskers become thickened and his nails grow out into claws. And Naruto rushed Kakashi and swiped at his face, cutting into his cheek. But Kakashi, he backed off and lifted his headband, showing that he was taking this fight seriously. So Naruto kept rushing Kakashi again and again, even faster than before, but the Sharingan is easily tracking all of Naruto's moves, and Kakashi kept dodging all of his attacks, and Naruto, he's getting frustrated and infuses his chakra into his fists and punch into the ground, destroying the entire area around them. And Kakashi, he jumped into the air to avoid being caught in this attack, but while he was in the air, he can't dodge Naruto coming head on. Naruto, he jumped towards him, and with a chakra infused punch, Kakashi got hit right in the gut, sending him flying into the ground. And Naruto landed over Kakashi's body and started laughing, a sadistic laugh. And Sasuke, Sakura, and Sai, I just realized everyone on that team, their name starts with S. So yeah, they were getting worried. If Naruto can beat Kakashi, they had zero chances at winning. So Naruto, he turns around to them and starts walking towards them, ready to finish them off. But with his back turned to Kakashi, his body on the ground poofs into smoke, and the real Kakashi was charging at Naruto with a Chidori in hand, ready to stop this right now. And he was going to aim for Naruto's shoulder. He wasn't trying to kill him, he was just trying to slow him down to stop him from doing any more damage. But as Kakashi reeled his hand back to shove it through Naruto's shoulder, someone jumped in to intervene and blocked Kakashi's Chidori. And Kakashi saw 2-3 Tomoe Sharingan staring back at him, and he entered a Genjutsu. This wasn't the Tsukuyomi or anything like that, just a simple Genjutsu, just to buy him and Naruto enough time to get out of there, which is exactly what it does, because Kisame, he had finished his fight with Zabuza a lot sooner, and Haku did try to step in, but Haku versus Kisame, that's not ending well for Haku. So Haku gets pieced up real quick by Kisame, and he's already been ahead of Itachi and Naruto. So after putting Kakashi in that Genjutsu, Naruto, they started going towards the hideout. And as they're going back, Naruto is silent the entire time. The reason Itachi had to jump in is because Naruto let his guard down. If only, he just kept telling himself, if only he was stronger. But while Naruto is thinking this, Itachi, he's saying, don't beat yourself up about it. We only had time to train for 3 weeks, and you're already this strong. Imagine a year from now. But Itachi, he was worried about how hard he was going in that fight. He really wanted to straight up kill Team 7. So Itachi had to remind him that he'll always be a Leaf Village, and he should be protecting his village, not going against them. And Naruto said back, why? Those people treated me like scum. I never felt welcome. And Itachi, he stayed silent, but after a bit spoke up and said, Naruto, don't hate the village. Change them. I'm training you so you can go back and show them what they're missing out on, and show them that they should respect you. And with that, they arrived at the hideout. And as soon as they enter, Kisame is there, and he is stretching, yawning, and he said, Zabuza, he wasn't all that tough. Hey, Naruto, I got something for you. And Zabuza threw the executioner's blade at Naruto, and because of how massive this blade was, he was fumbling with it, almost cutting his arms off, and Kisame is just there laughing. So after this, Naruto, he would continue his training, actually getting into Kenjutsu somewhat, but Naruto was never really proficient in it. So after this, we would head to the Chunin exams, and Naruto, he won't play a huge part in the exams. Actually, he won't show up at all. So we're going back to Team 7, and they're training harder than ever for these exams because they realized the gap that they would have to close between them and some potential enemies, that being Naruto and whoever was that person with him that like saved him from Kakashi. And speaking of Kakashi, he told him about his encounter with Itachi and Naruto, and hearing this like put Hiruzen over the edge. He's like, Naruto is siding with them, and he knows some stuff about the Akatsuki, nothing crazy. He just knows what all the information Jiraiya has managed to gather at this point. So while Hiruzen is sulking, Team 7, they're on their way to the first stage of the Chunin exams. And as soon as they enter the room, they are immediately blocked by a bunch of Chunins, like blocking the doors. But Sasuke, he easily saw through this genjutsu and just went around all of them and then headed upstairs, where he was challenged by Lee. But this time Sasuke, he has his priorities straight. Like, he isn't trying to fight any rando before any of the exams. So he decides to head in, and that's where they would start the first stage. And Ibiki, he's the proctor of these exams, and he's explaining everything, how they shouldn't get caught because if they do, their entire team will be disqualified. But what some people realize is he didn't say not to cheat, he just said don't get caught. So a lot of people came up with some creative ways to cheat, like Gaara using like a sand eye thing, and Sasuke using his Sharingan to copy the movements of someone's hand. So yeah, everything, I don't even need to go into great detail because most of this stuff goes to canon, except Naruto is replacing Sai in a lot of these situations. So when they get to the Forest of Death, Sasuke, he still gets the curse mark from Orochimaru because, well, there's nothing to really stop him. And yeah, like I said, not much changes. So they get to the preliminary exams. All these fights are the same. Sai beats, what's his name? Kiba? Sai beats Kiba. And there's a tie with Sakura and Ino. And Sasuke beats his opponent, which is Yoroi, another Leaf Genin. So after all of this is said and done, everyone goes on their 1-month training period. And this is also when Jiraiya arrives at the village, and his first stop is to Hiruzen to catch up to like hear about Naruto even. So he enters Hiruzen's office, and off rip, Hiruzen, he just has a sad vibe to him, and Jiraiya, he like calls out to Hiruzen and he's like, oh, what's up? Like, what's up, Jiraiya? And they're having this real casual conversation. Jiraiya asks, how's everything? And Hiruzen is like, being Hokage, it's kind of stressful. So Jiraiya comes to the question and he's saying, how's Naruto? And Hiruzen, he starts to choke up on his words, but he manages to get out that Naruto left the village. And Jiraiya, he's confused and asks Hiruzen to repeat one more time. He doesn't think he heard that right. And Hiruzen says, Naruto left the village. And Jiraiya slams his hands on the desk and said, what? What do you mean he left? Is he on a mission? And Hiruzen says, no, based on what Iruka said, due to some circumstances in the classroom, Naruto decided to leave the village. And Jiraiya is at his tipping point. He says, why? Why are some kids in his class driving away the Jinchuriki of the village, the son of the 4th Hokage? What were you doing this entire time when he left? You honestly don't seem to care. And Hiruzen had nothing to say. Jiraiya just got angry and threw all the papers off his desk and said, you don't deserve to be the Hokage, and walks out. So when it comes to the third stage of the Chunin exams, Sai, he would beat Neji, and when it's Sasuke versus Gaara and Gaara goes like wild, Jiraiya is still in the village, so when he sees the massive Shukaku off in the distance, he would go over and fight the Shukaku like using Gamabunta and basically defeating him similar to how Naruto did, but I don't think he would transform it into the Nine Tails, but something similar to it though. And after Jiraiya took care of that, he realized that Hiruzen was fighting Orochimaru this entire time, and this fight went it did not go in Hiruzen's favor. He lost and ended up dying, like sealing Orochimaru's hand so he can't perform any jutsu. And that's when we would go on to the 3-year time skip. So obviously Hiruzen just died and they need a new Hokage. So the main person they wanted to have was Jiraiya, but he did not want to become a Hokage. If Hiruzen is what a Hokage becomes, he doesn't want to be anything near that. So the next best thing was Tsunade. And Jiraiya, he took Team 7 along with them to find Tsunade because, he needed some help. But while all of that is going on in the Leaf Village, for the Akatsuki, Pain, he's really skeptical about Itachi and Kisame and some of the other members because they've all gotten really close with Naruto, and with that relationship, could it cloud their judgment when it comes to his extraction, like when it inevitably comes? So he's preparing a plan B just in case. But now for the rest of Shippuden, I'm probably just gonna speedrun this. So yeah, at the end of the 3-year time skip and they're extracting Gaara, Naruto, he didn't go on the mission with Deidara and Sasori because he's not a part of their team, but Naruto helped with the extraction, so it did happen a lot faster. So Team 7, when they were dispatched to help out the land of Wind, well, the Sand Village, they got there late. So when they managed to open this massive rock, the Ghetto statue wasn't even there. Sasori and Deidara were already gone because they were quicker in cannon, so they had more time to escape before Team 7 arrived. And they just had to take that massive L and go back to the Leaf Village. Now, during the time skip, I should have mentioned this, but Sasuke, he went to Orochimaru. So Sasuke, he's with Orochimaru, and he is basically becoming the Sasuke we all know and love him, having that immaculate drip after his training with Orochimaru. So after this, he would want to go look for Itachi. Like, at this point, he's killed Orochimaru and he's formed Team Taka. Is it Taka or Hebi? I keep forgetting which one is before. Whatever, we all know who's a part of this team. So Sasuke, he would get the message to go to this certain area to fight Itachi. And back at the Akatsuki hideout, before he's going to fight Itachi, he tells Naruto to go to the Leaf because he didn't realize how close Pain was to finishing his plans. So that's exactly what Naruto does. I mean, he follows Itachi's every word. He's his master. So Sasuke's fight with Itachi, nothing really changes. Sasuke, he does win, but Itachi kind of lets him win. And Sasuke, he ends up unlocking the Mangekyo Sharingan. So back at the Leaf, Naruto arrives in the village and he goes straight to Tsunade's office. And Naruto, he enters the office and immediately there's Anbu surrounding him with kunais pointed to his neck. And Naruto, he just has his hands raised, and Tsunade asks him, like, why is he here? Is he going to like assassinate her or something? But Naruto, he just moves really slowly. He takes off his cloak and steps on it, kind of symbolizing him not being a part of the Akatsuki anymore. So he tells Tsunade that the Akatsuki has acquired these seven-tailed beasts, and it won't be long until they have the rest. They need help from all 5 nations. And Tsunade, she is skeptical, but Naruto is the only one that would know all of this. He's literally a part of the Akatsuki. He would know their inside plans and things like that. And if Naruto, he showed that he isn't a part of the Akatsuki anymore. So maybe he wants to change. So Tsunade, she doesn't take this warning lightly, and she immediately goes to call 5 Kage Summit. So Tsunade, along with all the other Kage, travel to the Land of Iron for this meeting, and when they arrive, they're all trying to work together to create this team that should stop the Akatsuki. And the Raikage is disrespecting Tsunade, like, how are you going to call this huge meeting because of something that one kid said with no proof? And Tsunade, she's trying to tell them that if they don't take it seriously, it could bite them in the butt later on. But while they're all bickering, they can never get along, Obito Kamui's in front of the entire group, and everyone goes on guard, and he starts to talk and says he declares war on all 5 nations. And with that, he disappears into a spiral pattern, and this basically confirms everything Naruto just said. So everyone, they start rallying their troops, getting ready for this final assault. And with the Akatsuki, well, what's remaining of the Akatsuki, they have the tentacle from the 8 tails and the 9 tails chakra from like Kinkaku and Ginkaku. So the Geto statue would begin transforming into the Jubi. Now Madara was revived, and after getting his Rinnegan, he was ready to bring true peace to the ninja world with a state of unending happiness, the infinite Tsukuyomi. But while the Geto statue was doing its thing, Madara, he decided to take the Shinobi Alliance head on. And Madara absolutely massacred these Shinobi. He rushed in head on, using their own strength against them, using their own weapons. And he used some of his own jutsu like Majestic Destroyer Flame. Bro, this man completely, all the fodder there, they didn't stand a chance. But once all these fodder were out of the way, the Kages stepped up. The Tsuchikage said, "Tsunade, get out of the way." And then he did a particle style jutsu, Atomic Destruction. And Madara easily dodged this and appeared behind Onoki. Is that how you say his name? Yeah. But the Raikage clotheslined Madara with his lightning cloak and smashed him into a massive rock. And Naruto is watching everyone fighting. And he starts having flashbacks of his past, saying like he comes nowhere near their strength. And as they're fighting, Naruto saw the 10 tails on the horizon rushing towards the battlefield. And Madara knows it's coming too, so he rushed to the middle of the Shinobi Alliance and has the 10 tails chakra, the 10 tails charge up a tail beast bomb to eradicate everyone there. So the 10 tails starts charging up this attack and shoots it off. But B, he's there with his 8 tails avatar to try and stop this. So he's holding it back with his hands and all 8 of his tails, trying everything, but it overwhelms him and pushes him back. And the tail beast bomb explodes, taking out multiple of Shinobi there. And Naruto, he can't use Kurama's chakra at will. So almost everyone dies from his attacks except those who are like above average strength, so all the fodder die. But before they could even recover, a huge meteor appeared in the sky and the 10 tails shot off another tail beast bomb. And Naruto is just watching his inevitable death. But from above, a light shot into the meteor and it exploded. And Naruto looked back and saw a fully formed Susanoo with a bow, and it was Sasuke. And B he still got back up to try and stop this tail beast bomb. And Naruto was watching as just everyone kept trying and trying while he's standing by helpless. But he grabs his stomach and said, "I can become stronger." And Naruto entered his mindscape to face the Kyuubi. And the fox, bro, Kurama is like, "It's about damn time, bro. What have you been doing this entire time? You have literally the strongest tail beast and you haven't done anything, bruh." So Naruto, he goes up and rips off the seal off the cage. But this time, there's nothing to stop him. And the gates of the 9 tails just swing open. And Naruto said, "Just help me with this, please." And they fist bump, and Naruto's body in the real world was covered in yellow chakra, basically entering KCM. Then Naruto went straight into the Kurama avatar where he helped B with the tail beast bomb, and they managed to push it back, sending off 2 of their own tail beast bombs. And this 10 tails, who remember still isn't fully formed, it got blasted by these 3 tail beast bombs and it was knocked back. But all of this still wasn't enough because Madara, he was trying to wear out Naruto and Sasuke because they're trying to kill him, but they obviously can't because he's a reanimation. And he wears them out up until the point they come out of their forms and using this time to kill them. But Naruto and Sasuke are the main characters. Come on, they can't die. Well, you'd be right, because Hagoromo, he approaches the 2 of them and offers his chakra to them. He explains how they're the reincarnation of his sons, and then tells them to raise their dominant hand to receive his chakra. But Naruto, he didn't want it. His entire life has been him being weaker, and his ticket to becoming the strongest is right in front of him. But this just doesn't feel right. Naruto is thinking like, I've been training my entire life to become stronger and earn everyone's respect, but why? The village will never accept me, the Akatsuki is disbanded, like what's left for me? And Naruto's answer is nothing. So Naruto tells Hagoromo that, he'll be chilling with him for now. Let Sasuke have all the remaining chakra. And Hagoromo says, are you sure? This is kind of a big deal, bro. You'll become a lot stronger. And Naruto nods saying, besides, who'd give up a life like this? Watching over everyone seems pretty cool. So Hagoromo doesn't question further, and Sasuke is endowed with all of his chakra. And when Sasuke is like revived, he comes back to life. Sasuke is playing around with Madara, he's become the 10 Tails Jinchuriki, and it doesn't matter. Sasuke is throwing him around, and Naruto and Hagoromo are having a good laugh watching this play out. And after this, Sasuke, he makes quick work of Madara, ending the war. And after that, he becomes the Hokage, and Naruto, for once in his life, was content. He wasn't the strongest, he wasn't even alive, but he's never been happier. And that is where I'm gonna be leaving this one off. Tell me how you guys enjoyed that end. I never had a Naruto in my series actually die, so yeah, I definitely want to see how you guys think of that. And if you like the video, and if you like my content in general, consider subscribing, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next What If.
And remember, like and subscribe. Or else.